All right, Shalom. I want to start by saying, HALAL, YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM, Wakakadash. Double honors to the powers of Israel, aka the powers of Great Millstone, and peace and love to all the Akim. Continue to preach the truth and all truth and sincerity. My name is Ali Ashai, and basically through the Spirit, came across this article. It actually was a picture, and I put the picture in the thumbnail, and basically it said that the top jobs it's going to be the top jobs in the next decade. All right. So, obviously a decade is 10 years, but as the title reads, it says AI proof jobs, but none will be Motb proof. All right. Because, I was reading an article about it because, you have a lot of things going on about AI and how it's transforming the job market, how it's changing. It's how it's really changing it's changing life. All right, because now you got all this stuff with Chat GTP, all these other AI platforms. You got these companies laying off people because a lot of jobs are being replaced with AI. So you have a lot of things happening. You have this whole new system about to come into play. You had Trump talk about. I seen something that said that Trump said that the AI is going to control biological weapons. So you have a lot of things happening. These devils is working hard. So it means us as the prophets of Yahawah, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, we got to work even harder, man. Because at the end of the day, man, this is a war, and we're at war with principalities. We're at war where people are in high places. All right? So the article reads, it's from Built-In, and it reads, that's the article, and it says, is your job AI proof? What to know about AI taking over jobs? Now, I'm not going to read the whole article, but I'm going to skim through this article because, it made me think about, like, hell, well, even if you have an AI-proof job, it still doesn't matter because AI can't pay you, all right? And you can't pay AI. So that was the whole thing why these companies are doing it, so they don't have to pay humans. But I was thinking about it. I'm like, but no matter who gets these jobs as AI-proof, you still, at the end of the day, you still going to want to get paid, right? Now, how are you going to get paid? They're talking about a whole universal basic income. How are they going to do that? It's going to be the Motb. Ultimately, it's going to be the Motb because first they're going to start probably with like cards and debit cards and shit. But at the end of the day, all in all, it's all employed to bring in the beast system and ultimately bring in the mark of the beast, which is the Motb, which is the RFID micro C-hip. That's what it is. That's the mark. All right, and that's how you're gonna cause of all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, and gonna be employed and unemployed because everybody's not gonna be able to be a plumber. Everybody's not gonna be able to be all these AI-proof jobs. That's why these devils been talking about cutting down the population. But let me get this article. So it says AI is transforming the workforce, eliminating various jobs while creating new ones. Jobs in customer service, programming, and writing are at risk. But AI is also spurring demand for roles like machine learning engineers and AI specialists. Experts suggest upskilling for the evolving job market. But at the end of the day, everybody's not going to be able to do these jobs because you have a thing called balance. All right? Everybody's not going to be able to do these jobs. So you're going to have these older people, they're going to start dying off. All right? But then you're going to have the people like people my age, 80s babies, like in our mid to late 30s, 40s. Then you got the brothers in their 50s. Because remember, you got the apostles that's in their 60s, and you got the other apostles that's in their mid to late 40s, and then you got brothers like me. I'm about my next year, I'll be 40 if we're here. And then ultimately, so the pool is not that deep. And now you have all these people that went to school for certain various jobs that AI might take over. So they have to learn a whole nother skill. They're gonna do another few years in college. And it'll work like that, but anyway, oops. And it says artificial intelligence is transforming the workforce and not always for the better. As companies continue to adopt AI to boost productivity, many are also cutting human jobs and replacing them with tools like Chat GTP or GitHub, Copilot. AI adoption is especially impacting entry-level jobs, as early career workers in the most AI-exposed jobs have experienced a 13% decline in employment. Notably, employment declines are concentrated in occupations where AI is more likely to automate rather than augment human labor. According to McKinsey and Company, generative AI could automate up to 30% of hours worked in the United States and 27% of hours worked in Europe by 2030. Now, what was Elon Musk talking about by 2030? We're going to need a universal basic income because there's going to be basically no more jobs by then. So you have to look at that. So now we're in a 5-year window from 2025, when 2025 was almost over. Then it's going to be 2026. So then it'll be 4 years. And as we're going along now, the AI is already taking a lot of people's jobs already. So what's going to happen within the next few years? They say we're going to need a universal basic income. It says, however, AI is also creating several new jobs, potentially easing the transition for affected workers. Some experts and industry insiders aren't too worried about the rise of AI and remain unimpressed with the technology. Even OpenAI founder Sam Altman believes investors are overexcited about AI and the hype is simply a matter of being in an AI bubble. But think about it like this, though. So what if the AI don't take over how they think? It's still going to start taking away people's jobs. It's not like it's more businesses and corporations coming about. All right? Everything is being more automated. Everything is made digital. So ultimately, they're going to have nobody with jobs because that's their goal. It says, it isn't that the machines aren't rising, it's that they're rising much more slowly than some of the more breathless media coverage might have you believe, which is great news for most of those who think AI-powered technology will soon steal their jobs, most of being operative words. So it says 11 jobs AI will replace. It says 1, customer service representative, 2, car and truck driver. Oh, so that's like Uber. You have the driverless trucks, self-driving trucks and cars. It says software engineer, computer programmer, research analyst, paralegal, factory or warehouse worker. So hold up. That's a lot of jobs right there that make up a lot of the economy of most average Joe citizens. Financial trader, travel advisor, content writer, graphic designer, data entry clerk. And here you got 9 jobs AI won't replace. It says teacher, nurse, social worker, therapist, handy person, lawyer, HR specialist, copywriter, UX writer, and technical writer. And then it says artist. So I'm not going to read. And it says, it'll give more efficient and shorter work days. It says something increased productivity and efficiency might even shorten the work week, which seems good in theory, but comes with its own set of issues. How will pay and benefits be affected? How will pay and benefits be affected? And who reaps the bulk of monetary rewards? Those remain unanswered questions, but how will pay benefits be affected? Now, if all these people start losing jobs, they're still going to want people to buy and sell, more so buy, because basically the government's going to corner the market and take over everything. And that's why the egghead said what? Charles Schwab said what? Or Charles Schwab, whatever the fuck his name is. I think it's Klaus Schwab said, you'll own nothing and be happy. All right? And it says up to this point, technology has created more work because it's another thing you have to deal with, said Justin Adams, former CEO at Digitize.ai and vice president at its parent company, Waystar. But I think there's an inflection point where certain AI will get to a place where that actually flips. Hold up. So let's go to one more article. Because it said, how will pay be affected? Oops. Okay, so this is from Benzinga. This is from September 20th, which was a 3 days ago. It says, Elon Musk says we'll all have best medical care, food, housing, and everything else, and a universal high income when robots take over by 2030. Now, he didn't say if, he said when. I think I might change the title to that. So it says, what happens when robots take everyone's jobs? It's the question hanging over office chatter, think pieces, and late night doom scrolling. People are scrambling to find AI-proof careers, but with predictions that automation could replace nearly every role, the anxiety feels justified. Elon Musk, however, isn't losing sleep. Of course he's not. He's been repeating for years that society won't just need a universal basic income, it will need something bigger, universal high income. Now, I believe when I first heard he was talking about this was 2017. We're now in 2025, about to be 2026, which is what? What's that like? 9 years about to be? It says the latest reminder came after tech commentator David Scott Patterson claimed on X that by 2030, all jobs will be replaced by AI and robots. Musk replied, your estimates are about right. However, intelligent robots in humanoid form will far exceed the population of humans, as every person will want their own personal R2-D2 and C-3PO, which is from Star Wars, if you know anything about Star Wars. Those are the ones that were Luke Skywalker in them. It says, and then there will be many robots in industry for every human to provide products and services. Because remember, they said what? Goods and services will remain. And it's a part of this devil's wonders. These miracles that they working, they talk about, yo, they ain't gonna need no more human workers, man. But you're still gonna be able to get paid because they got another thing with technology where it will still have you get paid. Now, hold up. Let me go to the scriptures. Now, when you go into Revelation 13, it talks about a first and second beast. Now, that first beast being the Roman Empire, Roman Greco Empire, as they would call it. But this second beast, which is now we're in, it says, I'm reading this is the book of Revelation, chapter 13, verse 14. But keep in mind, I was talking about how if these jobs, they still have jobs that AI won't replace, but then you still got to think about how are people going to get paid. A universal basic income, or however they're going to flip it, it's still going to be what? The mark of the beast is going to how you're going to get paid, because why? It's prophecy. And that's ultimately what, because Elon Musk the one with the Neuralink and the brain C-hips, all right? So, Revelation chapter 13, verse 14 in the NLT, it says, and with all the miracles he was allowed to perform. Now, who was allowing these devils to do it? YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI. The Heavenly Father and the Son is allowing Esau to do these things, to do these wonders, man, because he's fulfilling prophecy. All right? Remember, these devils, Elon Musk, Trump, all these motherfuckers, the elites, the World Economic Forum, Klaus Schwab, and all of them, they're all serving the Most High's purpose. It says, and with all the miracles he was allowed to perform on behalf of the first beast, which is the Roman Greco Empire, he deceived all the people who belong to this world. To this world. He ordered the people to make a great statue of the first beast who was fatally wounded and then came back to life. That's when the Roman Empire, that 1,000 years, Satan was loose from his prison. That Roman Empire, the one before this, which they still emulate, which they still, like basically, like it says, basically, they replicate the first beast. Back to life. Verse 15, it says, he was then permitted to give life to the statue so that it could speak. Then the statue of the beast commanded that anyone refusing to worship it must die. All right? Now, that's going to be this devil's technology, all this shit he doing right now. Yo, well, even though it's Vietnam, but I had got wind because I seen Apostle Tahar talking about it, this whole thing with Vietnam. I heard a couple other, but I seen something about it before. But it said that the people, there was in Vietnam, that they wiped out 86 million people's bank accounts. And get this, it was because they didn't comply to get the digital ID. Now, the digital ID, remember, this digital ID is all part of the beast system. Even though that's Vietnam, but isn't Vietnam? Vietnam is under Esau. Vietnam is an ally, and I believe Vietnam is an ally to America. And it said that refusal to worship it must die. Now, this is the book of Revelation, chapter 13, verse 16. Now, here where it gets good. And see how all these miracles, all these wonders that they're doing, all this deceit that he's putting upon the earth, but then ultimately, what is the end game? What is the goal? Here it is. Revelation 13 and 16. And he causeth all, this is King James, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their forehead. Now, you already have people that have the Motb, technically, and that have the RFID microchip implanted in their body. But it says he's going to cause it all. It's not going to be voluntarily. It's going to be mandatory. Just like they did with the V. All right? I'm going to read that in NLT. It says, he required everyone, small and great, rich and poor, free and slave, to be given a mark on the right hand or on the forehead. So everybody that's locked up, everybody that's free, everybody that's rich, everybody that's poor, small and great. So your status in society don't matter. If you're not in the elite circle, if you're not in the elite families, that's required. Let's talk about you. Verse 17, it says, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. And you read that in NLT of Revelation chapter 13, verse 17, it says, and no one could buy or sell anything without that mark. No one could buy or sell anything. So no matter if AI gets rid of these jobs or not, you still need to buy and sell with that mark. And that's this devil's end game. That's ultimately he has to bring. He's going to bring in that C-hip. And remember, he already has the technology out, but he hasn't required all yet. That's what's coming, and that's what we're waiting for. Because all this stuff with the war stuff, that's all going to continue to transpire. All the other prophecies are going to continue to just keep rolling. But ultimately, when that Motb comes, everything is going to roll quicker and quicker. And then ultimately, that great day of the Lord's return, Yahawash's return, will be here. Because why? If this devil puts out the C-hip, that means the missiles won't be far behind. And it says, and no one could buy or sell anything without that mark, which was either the name of the beast or the number representing his name. And you go into 18 verses, basically is what? 666. I'm going to read it. It says, here is wisdom. Let him, this is verse 18. It says, here is wisdom. Let him that have understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666, which is 666. 66. And it says, in NLT, it says, wisdom is needed here. Let the one with understanding solve the meaning of the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man. His number is 666. Now, when you hear 666, what does that resonate with? Satan worship. And as of right now, 666 is still Satan worship. And that man is Esau Edom. And they're the one, and in his kingdom, when this prophecy was going to come to pass. That's how we know we're in the last days. That's the key to the puzzle. That's the code that was been cracked. That's how we know that this is Esau. That it was talking about when it said Esau, the end of the world, Jacob's the beginning of it that followeth. That's how we know that these devils are the Edomites. Because look what their kingdom is. Look what prophecies are coming to pass in their rulership. And it don't get much better than that. Everything's going to get, and days are going to continue to fly. Time is flying. We flew through this year. I remember when Trump got inaugurated, January 20th. We're now at September 23rd. We got a couple more months left of this year, and then we're going to be off into 2026. And then it's going to be a whole year since the devil's been in office, since Trump has been in office, just like that, a whole year. When January 20th comes. And then it means within that year, it means it's going to be 4 years in February that Russia-Ukraine war started. So you see what time the Lord said what? And those days be shortened, no flesh shall be saved, because these devils will end up killing everybody. And that's it. So that's why these nations are getting ready for war. They're getting these nukes ready. You had Iran just to successfully test an ICBM. They said it can hit anywhere in Europe. Russia testing shit. They said it's a whole shit going on in Europe with Germany, Poland, Russia, and all those countries. I just got an alert and said, hold on, what did it say? What it said, go to the Oops, hold up. Notifications. It says 1,000 plus German casualties. Berlin's jaw-dropping admission of Russia's military might. This is from Times in India 14 hours ago. Hold on, let's see. Let's see something. Let's see. Because that's a video. Let's see what they got an article. See. Let's go what they talk about this article. Oh, they saying a warning. Okay. Salaki. It said that it's up to if the okay. So let me read this article. So this go to show that we're in the spirit of war, that these nations are in the spirit of war. So it says 1,000 plus casualties. Germany fears massive losses as Merz gears up for showdown with Putin in war. So I'm gonna read this article. So it says Germany warns of up to 1,000. This is from Times of India. It says Germany warns of up to 1,000 soldier casualties per day if conflict with Russia erupts. Bundeswehr plans include hospital trains and civilian medical support for 15,000 troops. Kremlin denies any attack plan. But remember what France said. France said that to tell their hospitals to get ready of a high likely of a chance of a conflict with Russia, to prepare their hospitals for a mass amount of NATO soldiers injured and probably worse. All right? It says calling claims nonsense. It says Germany has ramped military spending since the Ukraine conflict, becoming a key arms supplier to Kiev while preparing for potential confrontation with Moscow by 2029, which is what? 4 years from now. But remember, the Lord is speeding things up. They're talking 4 years, but that can, man, they talk all the shit with the Russian drones violating all the airspaces. Poland airspace, Lithuania airspace, Estonia's airspace, and I want to say Romania's airspace as well. Okay, so it's a video. So yeah, so that go to show what time we on, man. That go to show what time the Lord got these nations on. He got them what? Preparing for war. And ultimately, in the midst of all this war stuff, these devils getting ready to bring in his new system, the beast system, and the mark of the beast. So with all this AI, what I talked about earlier, the AI, and talk about all the AI-proof jobs, that's AI-proof and the jobs that's not. But at the end of the day, none of these jobs are going to be Motb-proof. That's why the devil said, he said he calls them all. So no matter if you employed, unemployed, however you're going to get income, is going to be through the Motb. And that's that. That's prophecy. That's why I say he calls them all. So, with that, Lord willing, this is edifying. I want to give all praises to Yahawah, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM, Rukakadash. Double honors to the apostles of Israel, a.k.a. the apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and love to all the Akim. Continue to preach the truth and all truth and sincerity. Shalom. Shalom to all watching.